Today we're going to be checking out teachers who took school punishments way too far. So we have this girl over here. She actually took a yearbook photo and she smiled in her picture. She was showing her pearly white teeth like you should in a yearbook photo. So apparently, like, the people who were putting the yearbook photo together or whatnot, they said her smile was too bright. She just had too good of a smile that they actually had to remove her from the yearbook. They didn't allow her to be in the yearbook because her smile was just on fleek. Now, after they did remove her, they did allow her to take a second photo, but it really wasn't even a second photo. It was her school ID they just put in there. So she was not allowed to smile in her yearbook picture because her smile was just too nice. That is the craziest punishments I have ever seen a teacher give a student. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yo, what's up guys, Prince Charming. We are checking out some teachers who took it way too far with their punishments. So when you're in school, you get in trouble, say you talk too much during class, or you're on your phone, or you're making out with your girlfriend in class. Teachers are allowed to punish you, you know, to an extent. I know in like private schools they can spank you, but that's also to an extent. But in public school, they can only really send you to the principal's office, give you suspension, detention, whatnot. They really can't do that much to you. So these are teachers who are essentially using what little power they have and taking it way too far. I mean, these punishments that they're giving students are just insane. So don't forget, if you want to like, subscribe, and comment a punishment that you got that was a little bit extreme for you. I remember I got in a fight, and yes, I know it was a fight, but literally all I did was like stick him 2 times and he didn't hit me back. So really it was just like an altercation, and I got 3-day suspension for that. Can you believe that? But enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and check out these teachers who took punishments way too far. Hope you guys enjoy the video. So we have Pop-Tart gun suspension. So somebody was eating a Pop-Tart, a little kid. You know, Pop-Tarts are nice. You put them in a toaster or you don't put them in the toaster. They're a nice little breakfast item. He was casually eating his Pop-Tart, and then he was eating it into a formation of a landscape mountain. And then it kind of worked to look like a gun. I don't know how it worked like that, but apparently he was shooting it like it was a gun, and the teacher did not like that. So in order to punish him, they actually suspended a student for eating a Pop-Tart and pretending it was a gun. He didn't bring a BB gun, he didn't bring any fake weapons, toy weapons. He was just literally eating a Pop-Tart. He chewed it into a formation where he can hold it like a gun, and he got suspended just for that. Clearly at that age, you probably care less about, you know, being suspended. Staying home from school is probably the best news you ever heard in your life. So when you get suspended, you're like, oh well, I have to stay home now. That's such a punishment. But if you have parents like mine, whenever you got suspended, they always made me clean. And when I say clean, they meant the whole entire house. They want to come back the house spotless. That's your punishment for getting suspended. You thought you were just gonna finna watch Netflix all day and lay in your bed. Nah, you finna clean. You're finna get that 3-day suspension. Next up, we got a boy who was talking too much and he was forced to be put inside a bag. So this boy was talking, he was disrupting class, and the teachers just did not want to deal with him. So they actually got a duffel bag, forced him to get inside, and tied it up. So that way they couldn't see him, they couldn't hear him, and they made him stay like that until his mom came to pick him up. So his mom actually arrived with him still in the duffel bag, which is kind of crazy. You would think the school would try to cover themselves and make him out before the mom gets to see it, but he was still in the duffel bag when the mom arrived. Like he was saying, "Oh, mom, help me!" If my kid was put in a duffel bag, bro, I don't know what I'll do. Do you sue the school, or do you say thank you? Nah, it doesn't matter how annoying your kid is. Teachers are supposed to be prepped for it, and if they're not prepped for it, you shouldn't be a teacher if you can't handle people talking in your ear, little kids. Being a kid is being able to talk, being able to explore, being able to laugh. So why are you gonna stuff me in a duffel bag for just being a kid? This one is crazy. It's called lunch on the floor. So apparently during an elementary school or whatnot, somebody spilled a water jug on the floor. So it was an average size water jug. I'm pretty sure it would be like a gallon. So a lot of water did go on the floor, but it's water and it's a water jug. It's not like that doesn't happen. It's just water. It's gonna evaporate. But the principal of the school was not feeling it. She was pretty angry. She felt some type of way about this whole situation. So she actually forced the students to eat their lunch off of the floor for 10 days. Yes, they had to eat their lunch off of the floor for 10 days. Can you imagine a principal trying to get you to eat your lunch off of the floor for 10 days straight? That is not happening. I don't care what principal you are of what school. I'm not eating off the ground. So some of the students actually told their parents, and the parents sued the school, and the school settled for $500,000. That's a lot of money just for eating lunch off the floor. And I already know that principal got fired. There's no way she kept her job. So yeah, these students ate lunch off the floor and became $500,000 richer. So at the end of the day, I guess you can could say it was kind of worth it. I guess you win some, you lose some. Up next, we got don't fight, hold hands. So these two students you see holding hands, they were fighting each other. This was like during the lunchroom or whatnot. The principal sees them fighting and they're forced to hold hands in front of everybody in the quad. The quad is essentially like the central where everybody sees you. Like you're not going to be not seen if you're in the quad. If you're in the quad and you're with another girl and you have a girlfriend, you're going to get caught. That's essentially what I'm saying about the quad. So they're in front of everyone, the entire school, holding hands. How embarrassing it is. And they were just throwing hands at each other. So that has to just feel so extremely weird, holding hands with the person you're just throwing hands at. Like I bet you afterwards, like after school, they had to have run another round, bro. Because after I fight somebody and I have to hold their hands, I'm gonna have to fight them again to get rid of that hand holding session. And this is extremely embarrassing. Imagine you really hate someone and you're really forced to hold their hand in front of everybody for a long time. That's not gonna go well with me. It's gonna go well with you. Next up, we got a child threatens peers with bubbles. And yes, this is a real story. I had to read this twice because I didn't believe it, but it is a real story. So a little girl, and this is daycare, or this is kindergarten. So this is kindergarten, you're in real young age. So she brought a bubble gun to school. It had Hello Kitty on it. It was pink. It was a clear bubble gun. It didn't look anything like a real gun. It was a fake bubble gun, and she was shooting people with bubbles. And the teacher didn't like it, so she felt the need to search through this little girl's backpack to make sure she didn't have a deadly weapon on her. And not only that, the teacher also suspended the little girl, so she actually was sent home just for having a Hello Kitty bubble gun. And it wasn't like she was pretending like she was trying to kill people. It was just a bubble gun, and she just said she had one. So they actually hired a lawyer, the parents of this girl, and the only thing the lawyer was able to do was get her suspension down to 2 days. I don't know how long the suspension was. Maybe it was a week, but I would think the lawyer should be able to do more than that, like, you know, sue the school. If you're suspending my little girl for having a Hello Kitty bubble gun, bro, you're spending way too much time on her. You need to be teaching the class. I'm sorry. But maybe there are two sides to every story. Maybe the girl was running around pretending to shoot people, and that's not a good sign to see, especially in kindergarten. At a young age, if a kid's going around pretending to shoot people, that's usually not a good sign. But still, a Hello Kitty bubble gun? What did Hello Kitty ever do to you? The teacher must just not like Hello Kitty. She must be a Hello Kitty hater. Because Hello Kitty bubble gun, bro, that looks nothing like a real gun. Next up, we got stop playing with your hair. And this story is crazy, guys. This story is just crazy. So the girl you see in this picture, she was playing with her hair. You see how it's in braids and got beads in it, and that kind of makes noise in class. So I could see how the teacher would want her to stop. She was playing with her hair, there's beads on it, it's gonna make a little noise when they clack together. But this teacher actually physically got some scissors and cut off her braids. Not the entire thing, but cut off one of them just to show her, like, if you don't stop messing with it, I'm gonna cut off more of your hair. So after the little girl went home, because she was like in trouble for the situation, she had to tell her parents. She told her parents, the parents went off on that teacher. Like any other black parent would. Especially if you cut my daughter's hair. If you cut my daughter's hair, I'm cutting your throat. No, but essentially, like, she didn't get any money, they didn't sue. All that happened was that the teacher had to issue an apology, she got suspended without pay, and the little girl was moved into a different classroom. So the teacher still has her job, she's still a teacher, she was just suspended without pay. She got off easy. For cutting a student's hair, that is boundaries that you do not cross. But hey, as long as it's not my hair, bro, if you try to come at me with some clippers, bro, I'm honestly fighting you. I don't care if you're my teacher, principal, superintendent, you're getting these hands. Next up, we got child eating monster closet, and this story is kind of sad because it's just traumatizing on so many levels, and there's no reason why they did it. So a couple of teachers got a couple of 4-year-olds, and they were trying to, I don't know if they're trying to scare the fear out of them or they're trying to get them to overcome their fears, but they actually locked them into janitor closets that are dark and like cramped or whatnot to scare them to thinking that's like a ghost closet or whatnot. Some of these kids were crying, some of these kids were screaming, they were traumatized. One kid even vomited, bro. In order to vomit when you're scared, you gotta be really scared, you gotta be really feeling uncomfortable. So just hearing that, man, just hearing that, that's just terrible. A kid being traumatized so much to the point where he just vomits. It's not funny, it's just sad, bro. Like, teachers these days, what are y'all thinking? What do y'all think this is gonna accomplish? Like, these 4-year-olds were not even doing anything. This was not a punishment. This was just teachers literally stuffing 4-year-olds in a closet. Maybe it was an experiment, maybe they wanted to test a theory, I have no clue. But nothing happened to these teachers. They didn't even have to issue an apology. Like, I'm not seeing it anywhere. So maybe they got off the hook. Maybe they really just traumatized kids and got away with it. Man, that is insane. Next, we got a girl wearing a dog cap as a dunce cap instead. So the teacher wanted to give this girl a dunce cap, and you know that's illegal. You can't do that in school. You can't embarrass or make fun of a student in front of other students or publicly. Like, you get in so much trouble as a teacher. Well, this teacher didn't care. So this girl was saying some dumb things. She was acting disruptive in class. So the teacher actually took the liberty to bring a dog cone from her dog who used to use it and put it on the student. So instead of a dunce cap, she literally wrapped a dog cone around her. That is so embarrassing, because with a dog cone, you can't touch your face, because that's the entire point. You want your dog to not scratch his face so it doesn't like irritate his skin. And you can barely see, so just having that around your head, and they're not for humans. So this is a clear embarrassment. This is going way too far on the teacher's end. Like, come on, do you really have to put a dog cone around a person's head? You just call him a dumbass. That will achieve the same effects. Next up, tardiness will get you into jail. This one is a mind-blowing fact, because this can happen, it still happens, and it will happen to you. So Diane Tran is actually an honor student. Honor student meaning they're in honor classes, they have good grades. Like, this is a smart student. She's not a bad student, she's a good girl. But she does have a busy life and a personal life, family life, so she does have to miss school a couple of times. So she actually only missed school for 11 days in a 6-month period, and you're only allowed to miss 10 days within a 6-month period. So she was actually jailed for 24 hours because it was considered I forgot what it's considered, but it's an actual law that you can't go 10 days in a 6-month period of skipping school. That is insane. I didn't know that. Thankfully I know that, but I'm in college now, so it doesn't really matter. This is all for you middle school, high schoolers out there. Last but not least, this one's actually kind of sad. This is really sad actually, because you can tell by the color of the shoes what I'm about to say. So this kid had a dress code and he had to have black shoes, but his mom just couldn't afford to buy him black shoes at the moment, so she took some of his old shoes and just spray painted it black. And she did a good job at first, but the spray paint started to peel off, started to rub off, started to just go away. So the true color of the shoe was revealed, and you can see it's kind of like a galaxy. It actually looks kind of nice. I mean, it looks like my channel colors. It has that galaxy look to it, the purple and blue. But that's not black. You can't wear that, especially not those colorful colors. If it was a gray, maybe they would have let him slide, but the fact that it's purple and blue, they sent him home and everything, suspension and everything. And the worst part, it was a 5-year-old kid, and it was in front of everybody, so he was embarrassed in front of his whole classmates. Bran, what's Bran? Man is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that is very embarrassing, very sad, and to a 5-year-old kid, bro, that's just a traumatizing experience. But that was it for that video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Those were some punishments that teachers just took way too far. Like, if I was a parent, I'll be collecting them checks, because I'll sue everybody on this list, on me. But then again, don't be a student and get in trouble. But then again, don't be a teacher and take it too far. It goes both ways, so it's a little bit of both. But don't forget to hit me with a like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you want to apply from yours truly, Prince Charming. My name is Prince Ohakam. Stay charmed, my friends.